Today the weather is a complete disaster out there. It's snowing, it's cold, it's terrible. But like a true oasis, this 2019 Acura RDX comes to save the day. This is the super handling all-wheel drive Platinum Elite trim level in Canada, or what I understand is the Advanced pack in the US. It is an all-new model built from the ground up, and for the top-of-the-line trim, you're looking at 57,196 Canadian dollars. Prices start at 43,990 Canadian dollars, or 37,400 US dollars in the US. However, all Canadian models get super handling all-wheel drive. The new RDX is really striking to look at. The new front grille looks fantastic, and it's like the emblem is just going into warp speed. It has LED headlights. As a matter of fact, everything around is LED, and it can turn night into day. And they also look really slick. Overall, the design is really nice, and it definitely makes a really good first impression. And inside, oh my god, it's even better. The design is really modern, and all surfaces have been appointed with really high-grade materials, making it a very luxurious interior. Fit and finish is great, and ergonomically it's pretty easy to operate the basic functions. The seats are really nice, they support the body really well, and they are adjustable in like 1,000 ways. Also, roominess up front is really good. I have lots of space for my little items and stuff. It's great to be up here. The rear seats are very spacious too. They offer really good legroom and headroom, allowing even taller people to get comfortable. The trunk is also very big at 835 liters, and it's also very usefully developed because you get these compartments underneath the floor, and the overall shape is really good. Now, you might have noticed that earlier I said that it's very easy to operate the basic functions, and I really didn't say anything about the infotainment system. And the reason is pretty simple. It's this, the trackpad. It's bad. The built-in operating system for the car is pretty good. It's based on Android, and it's simple and nice to use. However, the trackpad in this mode works as if it's a mapping of the screen. So top left means top left of the screen. Middle of the trackpad means middle of the screen. And you can't really shift around. Like if you start from the right and scroll to the left, it just changes the position, but then it's not like you're controlling a mouse like a laptop. But then when you go into CarPlay, for example, it does work that way. So you can start from the left, scroll to the right, lift your finger, and then go back to the left and scroll back to the right. It will actually shift positions like it does in a computer. So it's very inconsistent, and it's pretty slow, and it's not very sensitive. And basically, it is terrible. It's very difficult to use, and I really despise it. Also, in a very interesting way, the operating system built into the car is based on Android, and it does not support yet Android Auto. Now back to the good parts. Under the hood, this new RDX is powered by a gem of an engine. It's a 2.0-liter VTEC turbo 4-cylinder that makes 272 horsepower and 280 pound-feet of torque. Made it a home-brewed, really smooth 10-speed automatic transmission. Performance, I have to say, is really good. I can't really do a proper 0 to 100. Here's one with some traction issues, so I'm sure the car can do better. But as you can see, performance is not really an issue. I mean, I was never in a position wanting more power, so I actually really like this motor. And come to think of it, out of all its competition, the only other car with a 2-liter engine that makes more power is the Stelvio. And this one is just so much better, actually. Funny enough, and knowing that it's pumping synthetic sound into the cabin, it actually sounds pretty good. You ready? Yeah, I mean, there's no traction, so we're just spinning, but I like the way it sounds. It's grunty. It's good. In terms of fuel economy, this thing is definitely not the most frugal thing on the planet. In this cold and in mixed conditions, I averaged about 13 liters per 100 kilometers, but once you factor in the performance you actually get from this car, that's not bad, is it? One thing I love is the steering wheel. It's nice and small, and it makes the car feel very sporty, and it gives you the feeling that's very appropriate for the dynamic setup of this car. I mean, the suspension has been tuned in a way that it's initially pretty stiff, so that means that when you're driving, there's not a lot of body roll. So it gives you the kind of feeling of a firmly set up car, but then when you actually hit a bump that makes the suspension travel, it softens up. So it's comfortable. And that's pretty priceless. It's a good feeling. And here's a funny thing. If somehow you could drive this thing blindfolded, I mean, Bird Box, don't do that. But I'm just saying that if you could do it, it actually feels like a Jaguar F-Pace, which I think is a huge compliment. It feels exactly the same, which is weird. Overall, the ride is very compliant, especially in comfort mode. The suspension reacts in a very forgiving way when you hit big bumps, and it's a very nice and comfortable ride. This top-of-the-line trim level gets the dynamic active dampers, so as you change the drive modes, they change the stiffness of the suspension. In Sport and Sport Plus, it does become a little bit firmer than you'd ever want this car to be, but overall, it's a good balance. I mean, the modes, the only sad thing about it is you don't get to mix and match. So I mean, you'd like the steering to be sport, but you'd like the transmission, drivetrain, dampers to be in comfort. You can't do that, and it's a real shame. And speaking of driving modes, they are Snow, Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus. The RDX handles extremely well, and the most significant contributing factor to that is that it finally gets the super handling all-wheel drive. There's no more of that little weak all-wheel drive system from the CR-V. This all-wheel drive system works in perfect harmony with torque vectoring, so when taking a corner, it pinches the brakes on the inside wheels and it tends to send any throttle application to the outer wheels, giving it the ability to pivot really well. There is a screen available for you to observe and monitor what the super handling all-wheel drive is doing and where it's sending the power. That way you can learn and understand when you step on the gas where the power goes. Because once you do learn the system, then especially around tight corners, it can help you take these corners incredibly well. I mean, you get into the corner, go hard on the gas, and whoop, the tail comes out. It's actually really entertaining. It's so much fun. Overall, the new RDX is astonishingly well made. It's a crossover that's serious fun and capable in so many ways. The only real letdown to an otherwise very good car is this stupid infotainment system control. It comes with all the safety systems you'd ever need at a very attractive price, but these controls seriously prevent me from giving it a perfect score. So for now, it's 8.5 out of 10.